Hello guys, I'm Pickles Parker, and today I will be reviewing some Big Finish. Cold Vengeance from the 10th Doctor Adventures Vol.2, featuring David Tennant and Billie Piper playing the 10th Doctor and Rose. Enjoy. The plot is as follows. The 10th Doctor and Rose land on this massive Iceland, basically. This planet which is a giant freezer containing loads of frozen peas and things called Cold Star. We realise that soon enough there are other people on this planet. Pirates, Brona Volta and her son Callum, recycling girl called Lorna, the Ice Warriors. Being captured by the Ice Warriors and find out that the Ice Warriors want to crash Cold Star into the planet below, which is Enyo. A war which happened many years ago between the humans and the Ice Warriors, and this Ice Warrior Haskell and Slav have a grudge against Enyo. So have any honour like the Ice Warriors that the Doctor has encountered before. A very pissed off Ice Warrior. The Doctor and Brona escape, but they're captured again. Learn that they go onto the Volta's Pearl, which is Brona's ship, and that now the Ice Warriors are going to use that as a bomb to go into Enyo. Rose is on board Cold Star, and Cold Star is going to go directly into the sun. And Callum managed to escape in a wheelie bin, but Callum is taken down by an Ice Warrior. But they managed to get back on board the Volta's Pearl. Now Haskell realises that has TARDIS, and he demands to go on there. So the Doctor, Rose and Lorna go on there, and Brona is left on the ship. So they realise that the ship is actually a suicide vessel, which is going to crash into Enyo, like I said. But Haskell doesn't want to commit suicide himself. He's just letting his lackeys do it. So he wants to escape into the TARDIS. Brona sacrifices herself, and then Haskell says that he doesn't need his enemy. He doesn't need to win himself. He just needs his enemy to lose. Kills himself, but then uses his machinery as a bomb. And the Ice Warriors also live on Enyo in a sort of refugee kind of way, like asylum seekers, and that he was about to destroy them all. So he destroys himself and really uses his armour as a bomb to try and destroy the Doctor, Rose and Lorna, but then they sling it out into space. This is quite big because although I haven't listened to the 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 1, because I wasn't into Big Finish when that was released in 2016, I'm aware that that never only featured original monsters. It never featured any monsters or villains from the TV show itself. And obviously the Infamy of the Czars and Sword of the Chevalier also featured original aliens. So this is the first 10th Doctor Adventures story to feature a monster from the new series, an actual existing monster within the TV show itself. And I'm really glad they picked the Ice Warriors, because the Ice Warriors are actually probably in my top 3 favourite Doctor Who monsters. I really loved the Ice Warriors, so I was really good at doing that, and I really like the Ice Warriors in this. I think that, especially Haskell, I think that I like the whole concept of Ice Warriors, how they're a noble race and things, but I also like Haskell, how he's not noble at all. That when he says, "I've met your," and the Doctor says, "I've met your species. They're an honourable race." Can't speak today. And then Haskell says, "Well, you haven't met me. Very much a ruthless killer, and he will do whatever it takes to destroy Enyo, even though most of the people living on Enyo weren't even alive when the war was going on. He should pay for his crimes." I really like the whole grudge idea of the war between the Ice Warriors and humans, and how he's still got a grudge going on, even though it doesn't really matter. And I also like how Haskell is a coward, because he wants Enyo destroyed, but he doesn't want himself to be destroyed. He'd rather just have his lackeys do it, give their lives to do it for him. I really like the character of Haskell, and he isn't really intimidating. Introduced to 3 other characters in the form of Lorna, Brona, and Callum. Brona and Callum are some space pirates, which was really nice to see. And I think they were very cool as well. They were very nice characters, especially Brona, who got a lot of screen time and was actually a very good chemistry with David Tennant's Doctor. And I could actually see both Brona and the 10th Doctor possibly going off, the 2 of them possibly in a spin-off series somewhere. You know, like with the 6th Doctor, when he doesn't really travel anymore with any existing companions he had in the TV show. Like I haven't listened to any of the 6th Doctor kind of monthly rate, but I know that he travels with Constance Clark and Flip, maybe because I watched the Who's Productions, they finished reviews. I think that maybe in the future they could do that with the 10th Doctor, and maybe bring back Brona, because I think they had some very good chemistry. I think Callum, he didn't really have that much development, but I suppose he was only really there because of Brona, really. He didn't really have a character. Lorna, I think, was a nice character. She kind of reminded me of Jess from Infamy of the Zaros, and she sounded a bit similar as well. But I liked how nobody listened to her. In the end, they had to listen to her because the information she had was vital for Haskell's changing motive. And I think that it was really nice, and as she kept on saying, she was only there to collect recycling. If it wasn't for her, Rose, Callum and Lorna would have been able to escape in the wheelie bins. Yeah, really like the whole idea of Coalstar as this massive Iceland, basically. I think that works really well as like a premise, and I like how the Ice Warriors somehow can just move the planet and crash it. Enyo, yeah, that's actually a very cool plan. I think the Ice Warriors are really quite intimidating in this. I think they're very similar to how they're portrayed in the classic series, because as far in the new series, I do love Cold War, but I wasn't really a fan of how they were portrayed in Empress of Mars. But I think this is very much these Ice Warriors very much feel like they could be picked from the Patrolman era. Doctor and Rose, I think the 10th Doctor is probably the best in the story. He's really good. David Tennant puts in a brilliant performance here. He's definitely got to grips with audio, and he definitely suits him, because I did hear a few things from the 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 1 where he didn't necessarily cope the best with audio, but I think that David Tennant definitely commands your presence when you're listening to it, and he is really good. He is the best in the story. I think that his commentation with Haskell and Slan and the other Ice Warriors are really good. Piper's actually quite good as Rose. She gets a lot more to do, and I think the whole thing of thinking Rose is dead very much fits into that era of Series 2, very much like the Impossible Planet, Satan Pit, things that happened in there, so that fits in very well with the era. And I think Rose was quite tolerable in this story. I think she's very much better in this than she was in the last story, The Sword of the Chevalier, and I think she got more to do, because I didn't really think she had that much to do in Infamy of the Zaros and The Sword of the Chevalier, but I think she definitely got a lot to do. overall, I really enjoyed this story. I think that it was really nice to see a actually returning villain from the actual TV show itself in this story, and I really liked that it was the Ice Warriors. As I said, they're one of my favourite Doctor Who villains. I think the Ice Warriors were really threatening. There's some really nice concepts in this. I think David Tennant was in fine form, and Billie Piper has probably been the best that she's been in this series, in this box set. The characters I really liked, especially Bruna, who had brilliant chemistry with David Tennant, and I think this is very nicely written by Matt Fitton. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Probably the most I've enjoyed out of all the stories. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So, just giving you my ranking of the stories in this box set. At number 3 we have The Sword of the Chevalier. Now, this is the only story out of the 3 that I didn't give an 8 out of 10 for both Infamy and of the Xaros and Cold Vengeance. I gave an 8 out of 10. And this could have quite easily been an 8 out of 10 and maybe even been my favourite out of this box set if it just had a decent villain. And because it didn't, I gave it a 7.5. But it's still a very good story. Just because of that fundamental flaw, it's not as good as the others. I think Nicholas Grace is brilliant as the Chevalier d'Eon, and this story introduces to me and to many people a historical figure that I wasn't aware of, and I don't think many people are aware of, that teaches you about it, and you come away knowing quite a bit about this character. I love history, and I love historical Doctor Who stories. I sometimes tend to favour a good historical story over a sci-fi story if they're done very, very good, and I think that this one was, but I just think the villain let it down, which is why it got a 7.5 compared to the 2 8s I gave to the other 2 stories, and this at the bottom of my ranking of these 3 stories, but it's still very good. Number 2 I have Infamy of the Xaros. This got an 8 out of 10 as well as number 1. It is a very good story, a very nice Earthbound story, which really harks back to that era of Series 2 in the RTD era where there was a lot of Earthbound stories. I really like the inclusion of Jackie, which is also very reminiscent of Series 2, and Jackie would just pop up in every Earthbound story. I think the concepts with the Harazi and the Xaros and the TV show and the idea of fame is really nice, and it's very similar to stories such as Vengeance on Varos and The Parting of the Ways, Bad Wolf, things like that. So yeah, that is also a very good story. But number 1 is Cold Vengeance. This also got an 8, like Infamy of the Xaros, and I think they're very much on par with each other. David Tennant's brilliant throughout in both, as is Billie Piper, and the guest cast is very good also. But what I think just makes Cold Vengeance that tiny bit better than Infamy of the Xaros for me is Ice Warriors. I love the Ice Warriors, and to see them confronting the 10th Doctor and to be really nicely just made my day. So yeah, my favourite of this box set is Cold Vengeance, but I think all of these stories were really, really good, and definitely stories I would recommend, and really nice 3 stories to start off my first Big Finish listening. So that was the last story in this series, bringing my 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 2 reviews to a close. I really enjoyed this box set. It was my introduction to Big Finish. I hadn't listened to any other Big Finish before I listened to this, and I really enjoyed it, and I think that it's a brilliant box set. I think if you haven't got into Big Finish, I would get this. I don't know if you can still get it in this snazzy book form, but I still think you may be able to buy the individual stories from the Big Finish website and people like Amazon. I enjoyed this so much that I'm fully into the world of Big Finish. I also have the 4th Doctor Adventures Series 7 Volume 1 here, which I will be reviewing. next time I do a big finish review, because I really liked the 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 2, but I do understand that probably the best stuff of Big Finish is the classic stuff. And as Tom Baker's my favourite classic Doctor, I thought I would get this, and I've listened to most of this, 3 of the 4 stories on this, and I've really enjoyed this as well. So reviews of this will be coming in the future, and I also have bought the First Doctor Adventures Volume 1 featuring David Bradley, which I've listened to a couple of stories on there as well, but obviously I don't have that in physical form yet. I've really enjoyed this box set, and it has yet more Big Finish, like I say, including the 4th Doctor Adventures Series 7 Volume 1 and the First Doctor Adventures Volume 1. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Please like this video if you have enjoyed it, and if you want to see more content from my channel, then please hit subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Hello, Garen Adams. So, Warriors of the Deep. This is actually a guilty pleasure for me, in the same way that Gary likes time play and Adam likes time in the Rani. The effects are incredibly poor, even for classic Who, and the acting from guest characters is pretty dreadful. Don't even get me started on the Murka. It has a somewhat charm to it that I can't really explain. There's just something about seeing the Sea Devils and the Silurians in the same story. I actually prefer the Sea Devil redesign in this one, although it's not that much to it. Overall, it is a poor story. Yeah, it is one I really enjoy. I think it had potential to be better. It is a bit withheld with the poor production values, but it is one I always enjoy when I watch it. I give Warriors of the Deep a 6.5 out of 10. See you guys next week.